Okay, we should be good to go. Hope we're looking good, everybody on YouTube. Welcome to You Hear Us with Duff and Steps. If the audio is terrible, please do let us know as soon as possible. We will get that fixed up. But we are presented by PrizePicks. If you can't see, if you look over, we got to go this way. I got to point the opposite way. So you're over here, but then if you look on the other side of Trent, presented by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the daily fantasy app simplified.
And they're going down tonight on my end.
They are. You came in here. The first thing you said is, "Damn it, I got Embiid."
But I didn't update it. So yeah, he had 31. So
yes,
I'm good.
So he's
far,
clear there. So we're hopefully getting where we need to be on that, getting right, and Trent's gonna win the company some money, right?
That's right. Something like that.
Something like that. We'll get it
get
going.
Some gas money first.
There we go. we starting.
Yeah, we face it.
Speaking of gas money, we need to talk about one guy that probably needed gas money leaving the stadium.
Oh man.
And it is kind of old news, but at the end of the day, it's new news because he did just release a
very long a letter.
Yes,
Schefter
a letter
tweeted it out.
That was 9-point font, single spaced, 2 pages on the notes or something like that.
Yeah.
So most definitely well thought out for sure. He's had a couple days to dwell on it. He's been at some basketball games. He's been, kind of doing AB things. And basically it comes down to he told everybody that he was hurt.
Yeah.
Told the coach he was hurt, the GM, they've texted.
Says he has receipts for it too.
Receipts, yeah. Went to a doctor. He, he's got some bone fragments in there, all that stuff. And that's why he left. And he didn't leave on his own power. He left because he was cut.
Right.
And, he does bring up a good point. Like, yeah, I was running off the field, but he's like, when emotions are running high, you kind of have to feel those things.
There's a difference when you're not exploding off the line than just jogging off the field.
Exactly.
Getting hype.
And I had some friends already reach out to me in the Facebook world, in the Twitter world, and say, what's your thoughts on this? And I said, tune into the show.
Yeah.
So here we are. Let's go with your thoughts first, being an old athlete.
When I first got it, you sent it to me, and then Potter sent it to me. And I was like, what is going on? So I looked into it, and then not knowing any context, just seeing him rip off his pads, throw his gear in the stands, and then jog off the field. I was like, this dude's lost his mind. Like, I would never do that. Like, I've gotten mad at coaches during the game, but I've never, refused to go in the game or just throw a fit and throw all my stuff on the sideline and just bounce. I mean, that's crazy. But it's also Antonio Brown. I mean, there's a video he went to court in the lime green suit, and, hey, he ran out of the court, ran the wrong direction in the parking lot. You can hear people yelling like, hey, dude, your car's the other way. And it runs back. I mean, I feel like the dude's not all there, but I'm not one to judge. I mean, it's just my opinion. But in the whole situation, I just feel like you can't do that. Like, did you just, ruin your career by doing that? You might be right about playing hurt or not wanting to go in. You might have all this text messages back and forth, but it comes down to, it's still business for the NFL, and you still have to sell yourself to other teams. If you don't want to play for the Bucks, I get it, but you could have sat on the sideline, just said they refused to go in from the sideline, to say you're hurt or whatever, or just walk back to the locker room with all your gear on. Don't strip on the sideline, make a whole antic scene. You're just hurting yourself in the long run, and that's what it comes down to, man. Like, you got to understand you got to do what's best for you, but you can't go out like that, man. You're hurting your reputation further for the next year to have another team pick you up. That's just my 2 cents.
I agree. And what's crazy is that everything that you pointed out, like I said, this was very thought out by him. He decided all this. He went through everything basically that he did. He said he took off his pads because, one, he didn't want the logo of the company he played for that was doing him dirty on him. And it sounds like, there's things that I've done in my past life. Like, we know a guy that when I used to work at WordCraft, he came out with his boss one day and he showed me something, and it was one of those that we had prior talks about what happened.
Yeah.
I showed him up kind of thing in front of his big boss. Like, was it the right thing to do? No. Was I in the right frame of mind at that time? I was a full-time student. I was doing all that. No. And, looking back on it, you always think of other things. Like, when you have that 24-hour rule, as some people say, of degress and let it de-escalate, and then you think about it.
Yeah.
You sound a lot more like AB has had 2 to 3 days on it now
to decompress on
that. He sounds a lot more like, hey, this is what I've done, kind of thing. But I mean, the biggest factor is if he does have the receipts, it's gonna get a lot more interesting for it. And it's one of those that if he does, then it comes down to a team probably will be willing to risk it next year because he still is an ungodly talent.
Right. Oh, like, yeah. And there's one thing I will say, and you can look up other talk shows and other sports talk shows and other people and other teammates.
Speaking of, you can look up Mic'd Up real quick. Yeah,
yeah. There you go.
Our boys from Missouri that kind of started this whole thing.
Exactly.
Got me interested in it.
And then he wrote me into it, and then now I'm
and then boom, here we are.
Yep. Here
so
we
you want to hang out with the boys, hang out with those boys.
But they say, and he stated in his little letter that like every time he's on the field. And when he's playing, when he's actually in the game playing, dude, he gives it 100.
He does
10%, and he does. If you watch Antonio Brown actually play football and not all the antics off the field, I mean, the dude plays his ass off. I mean, he's going hard every play, 100 miles an hour, and that's what you want to have a player.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes with some baggage, I guess you could say, on his side, and that's just you got to give and take with that. But no one can say that he doesn't play hard.
Yeah,
and I think for a fact he plays hard. And if, like we said, if this is true, and he told him he didn't feel like he was 100%, that he was hindering the team by not being able to go 100%, then I think he gets another shot.
Yeah, and I mean it's one of those that I was one of the few that kind of did take his side. Like, hold on, let's see what happens first. Like, it's not one of those things that I know AB's had his problems in the past, and he even brought those up in his thing. Is like, but what I've done in the past, you can't really hold it against me in this is why all this happened kind of thing. That I was like, I know Bruce Arians kind of his coaching, players love him, but the players that rally around him love him because mostly if you don't get along with them, you're out the door fairly quickly. It doesn't matter. And then, there was other reports of that they've done his coaching tree or whatever has done this before. A la, we saw that on Instagram. They said Victor Cruz and several other running backs being close to their projected stat line to get a bonus, and they froze them out kind of thing. That brings it in it. The comment, the things that I was hearing was that he just kind of didn't feel the love anymore when he came back. And this is the same guy that as soon as he did the vax thing, Bruce Arians we'll see if we cut him or not. We knew he wasn't getting cut because you didn't cut him right when it happened. There's a different thing. And they're not cutting because as soon as you cut somebody for something that they're going to serve the suspension and be able to come back in the season, his ass is going to be on another team, and you're in trouble. And that's kind of what basically, I want to see what happens through all this because the Buccaneers are trying to save face now as an organization. Because Bruce Arians literally came out and said he's no longer a Buck.
Right.
But now they're trying to figure out ways to keep him on the team because they know damn well if they let him go, guess where he can go? Anywhere. He can go Green Bay. He can go. He can
you
wait.
Don't want him in Green Bay.
Yeah, he can wait and see. If they play the Eagles first round, he'll be like, "Hey, I'll just go to the Eagles." And I mean, this is the same guy that took 3 weeks off, has a bum ankle, and still caught 10 passes for 100 and some yards his first week back because you don't have Godwin, you didn't have Evans in that game anymore. So I mean, there's a very good chance that this is going to be. And I mean, the Buccaneers. I used to be a big fan of them, and their organization has always kind of been a different. There's some things that they've done that have been that means so. It'll be interesting to see what happens through it all.
And to piggyback on the point you made earlier about when all this happened, you're just going to sit back and wait. To me, a big telling thing was Bruce Arians, like you said, came out and was like, he's cut, he's gone. Tom Brady had a completely different side. Like, hey, everybody, let's think about Antonio. Let's say he needs help. Let's get him some help. We're thinking about you. We love you, buddy.
Yeah.
All that stuff. It makes me think okay, something happened because normally your star quarterback, who is Tom Brady, and your head coach should be somewhat on the same page.
And the thing to me about that is it's always kind of, I feel like it's Tom Brady still runs that. As soon as Tom Brady went down there, he was like, hey, this is like LeBron. These are the keys of your team. You figure it out kind of thing. Because, Bruce Arians said that, and then the next day Bruce Arians was like, man, I hope he gets some help kind of thing. And it's probably one of those that, Tom walked in there and was like, hey, you look at me. Remember? Look, I'm the captain now. I'm the captain now kind of thing. Yeah. Now. He pulled I forgot what that movie's called, but it's with
I know Tom
Hanks and all that. Yeah. But
is it Captain Phillips? Something like that?
Yeah, maybe, or it's not Deepwater Horizon.
No, that's what Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, great movie though.
Yeah, it was.
Mark Wahlberg movies are just good.
Yeah.
Granted, he's like my dad, basically. Marky Mark and the Funky Brunch. I grew up with them, but it's one of those Bruce Arians is like that hard-ass coach that's like, it's my way or the highway.
Yeah.
And then he's like, wait, it's 2021. I have to have players.
Yeah.
Like, he's that head coach at the school that he's going to sit there and do all that, but then he has the 5 to 10 kids over here on the football team that he knows he ain't going to do shit without and win with. So it's like, hey, you 40 kids over here that aren't the best, and, you know, we can find another one of you out there.
Exactly.
You're doing this. Hey, you know what? Like, hey, just try to stay on the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we'll take care of you,
don't
kind
need
of
to
thing.
practice today. Just
but you know, show up.
Yep.
You know, do the right thing, kind of thing. You go ahead and give me that vape. Like, give me that vape back so we don't get in trouble, kind of thing. Like, that person over there, cut. This person over here, hey, we'll figure it out for you, kind of thing. And that's life.
This is what it is. Like, you're so talented that you're going to get chances. I mean, like, you faking your vaccination card, isn't that a felony now?
Yeah, I mean,
you committed an actual felony.
Probably not in Florida though, but like it would be like a felony is what, federal technically.
Yeah.
So like that's
But you're
not
still
just
playing.
a state.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, we all, like, when that first happened, we were like, man, there's gonna be some repercussions of that coming out. Nothing happened.
Nothing.
And then it was like this happened. We're like, oh, okay. And then I got thinking, well, what's gonna happen? Like, because Monday it was like in other news, it still says Antonio Brown's on the Buccaneers. So I was like, oh wait, this guy's hard ass coach said that he was off the team. He's got to be off the team, kind of thing. He's not. And then it came Tuesday, Wednesday, still on the team.
Yeah, if he's not cut by today or tomorrow, or tonight or tomorrow, he's gonna be there.
Brady might be sweet talking him. It might be. I don't know.
He might not play their first round, but I have a feeling.
That, I mean, if Brady can bring him back on the straight and narrow kind of thing, but I mean, it sounds like he's done for the season. Like, he's actually going to try to go have surgery. Or something.
Okay, yeah.
But it's one of those, like, I think he's trying to get set up, not for a defamation lawsuit, but like, you know, because the Bucs are gonna say conduct detrimental to the team kind of thing, running off the field, stuff like that in the middle of a game is still pretty bad there. But then he's gonna say, you know, I had an injury, they're injecting me with this foreign substance that the NFLPA knows about. Like, if he has the receipts, this is going to be.
Yes.
And I thought the news was over. That's not the last of it. I was like, all right, AB's off the team. They're moving on. Good luck. This is the most, like, problems they've had around a team that Tom Brady's been on. They're still going to go, though.
Tom Brady, and that's another thing. Tom Brady has to know something because he's dealt with Antonio Brown at the Patriots. Yeah. And he's the one that where am I looking for? Campaigned for Antonio Brown to come to the Bucs. I mean, he knows something.
And it's almost one of those, like, that's kind of why Brady also left the Patriots, because it was Bill Belichick said, you know, hey, there's this thing. We're done with it. Yeah. He's done kind of thing. Tom Brady's like, no, wait, we need him to win. Yeah. This whole your team this way isn't working anymore. Like, we got to move on.
I feel like Tom Brady has that Jordan mentality and Kobe mentality. Like, I will win at all costs. And if this dude's going to help me win, I'm going to look past some stuff to make sure this dude's on the field so we can win a football game.
Yep. Also, we are doing a live show on YouTube if you didn't know. I mean, the podcast, you'll hear this later on. We did have somebody just come in. Don't know sports enough to talk, but I'm here to show the boys some support, so I appreciate that, Clam. Thank you very much for getting in here.
Clam, what's up, buddy?
I'm assuming that's one of your buddies.
Yeah,
I saw Clam. I was like, no idea.
Works IT.
Hey, IT guy, do we sound good? Do we look good?
Appreciate it.
I know Trent's kind of his camera's kind of up a little bit higher, but
do I need to bring it down?
I don't know. Whoa. Maybe it's just gonna stay right there. We'll see how it goes. But Clam, just let us know in the chats. But we're gonna get on with it. Another awesome video, not video really, but I was just kind of just scrolling through. I was going to the bathroom and I saw Lance Stevenson is back with the
Born
Pacers.
Ready?
Born Ready was definitely, he had 20 points in the first quarter, and not only did he have 20 points in the first quarter, he had a consecutive 20 points in the first quarter.
Dude, Born Ready, a.k.a. Lance Stevenson, is a bucket getter.
And he's on his, second 10-day contract? Like, that's crazy. He's doing this on 10-day contracts and not even in the league kind of thing. Like, that is wild. I mean, we're watching right now. We're almost in the fourth quarter. The Mavericks are up 9. Granted, that could change in an instant. They're playing the Warriors, so you know it's the NBA, and then you have the best 3-point shooter ever on the team, and it could just be like that.
The best shooter ever. Period.
Great. We are looking and sounding good. That's a better start than our first live show. So there we go. Boom. But Lance Stevenson's out there. I haven't checked on that score, but I mean, he's out there. He's back. These 10-day contracts are pretty awesome because of the.
Who's he back playing for?
Lance?
Yeah.
We just said the Pacers.
I didn't hear you say. I'm sorry. Hey.
He's back home with the Pacers.
Back on the Pacers.
The one where that was one of the biggest challenges in the East back for the Heat was Lance Stevenson getting hot against LeBron and then back in the day. Jared, love you too. But they they are looking okay. They were still down to the Nets, but this is like Kyrie came back. This was his first game back, but it like overshadowed because like Steve's like, hey, remember me?
Hey,
like
bro, yeah,
I'll get some buckets. I'm a walking bucket. The Kyrie Irving thing we'll get into as well. But I mean, these 10-day contracts because the virus is in here. So all these people like Malik Monk is on his second 10-day contract or his first.
Malik Monk needs to play more.
Yeah, he's balling out for the Lakers. I think he's definitely going to get signed.
He fits
there.
with LeBron. Mm-hmm. He's a 3-and-D.
That's all he needs, and a KU guy. But it looked like Malik Newman.
UK guy. Don't be careful.
No, he needs a KU guy.
Oh, he needs a KU guy.
Yeah, and then I said, and then Malik Newman was from KU.
That's right.
And then somebody was like, I saw a video on Facebook, and they were like, who the, like, you couldn't do no better? Like, who the is this guy? And I'm pretty sure I was like, I think that's Malik.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked just like
that dude was so streaky at KU.
Yeah, that's perfect for the NBA. You can be streaky when you have LeBron that's going to do that for you. But they're doing all that. You know, Kyrie's back. He's still not vaxxed. He's got I think he can play 21 of the 40-some games left.
Yeah,
because he can't play in Cali and he can't play in Canada.
Yeah.
So and New York. He can't play in New York at his home games. So he gets to play all those other games. You know, it's one of those that I also brought up. I brought up to your brother in practice today. I just, you know, before practice we kind of do a talk to see what's there things going on. And I just said, when are we going to start, like, depending on what happens with Kyrie, when are we going to start comparing Kyrie to AB and everything that he's done? I mean, if you think about everything he's done, he's kind of mental too when it comes to the facts of like he's just, you don't know what's going to happen.
No,
like this dude was on a KD came to Brooklyn to play with Kyrie, and then so did DeAndre Jordan at the time. Like they were going to be the big three. Yeah. And then halfway through the year, or even when the year started, Kyrie's just like, yeah, no, I'm out. I'm not coming. Yeah. Like he didn't come to any of the games, any practices, didn't let him know, and he's just like, I got family business I got to attend to. Like just all of a sudden. Yeah. This is the same guy that everything was good with LeBron, and then right before it started, hey, I'm out. I don't want to play. I don't play with LeBron anymore.
I'm gonna try to do my own thing.
Yeah. Wanted to go do his own thing. Went to Boston, was like, hey, I'm doing my own thing. No, you're not doing your own thing here. Like, it's not working out for you. He had to get out of there.
He's just a different cat, man. I think he's just,
like AB to me. Like, I mean,
just on an intellectual level. But Kyrie has never been suspended for some outlandish stuff like AB. I feel like they're kind of the same.
AB's done more off of the field that's bad.
That's bad.
That can be considered,
If you look at what Kyrie does off the court, I mean, that dude's a huge giver back to guy giving back to the community.
Yeah, Uncle Drew.
He does all kind of stuff giving back to the community, which I won't hate on at all.
No.
And I guess I can't hate on him from sticking to his guns. Hey, if you
I'm not hating on him for like the vaccine thing.
That's your prerogative. Yeah. And standing firm on what you believe in, because what's the saying? If you won't stand for anything, you'll fall for.
You'll fall
stand for something. You'll fall for.
If you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for everything.
Something like that. Everybody knows what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Big brain. We're not Kyrie.
No.
Earth is round to me still.
Yes. I'm not a flat earther.
Yeah, we're not flat earthers like Kyrie, but also, you know, I mean, everybody. There's intellectual people out there. Like people hate Aaron Rodgers. I think he's fairly smart. I don't like everybody hates him. We'll get to that too about the MVP guy. Yeah, he called him a bum. I mean, to be a writer for that many years, you're probably not a bum, but like he is a Bears writer, so it's tough. It's a lot like the MLB. Like, and that's what we said when all this stuff came out about Aaron Rodgers, that we said, you know, he might not win an MVP anymore because you do have these writers that vote, and you know, if there's some that don't agree with him, like the writers out there are not going to just look on the field. Yeah. Like if they looked on the field, like they do in the NBA, Curry was unanimous that 1 year, which I don't even think Curry should, because LeBron is in the league. Like, he should still be getting a vote. It's the MVP anymore in the NBA is, all right, LeBron's the best, or LeBron's playing, you know, leading his team. Who's the second that's done something phenomenal that we didn't see coming? Because we expect it out of LeBron all the time now, kind of thing. But with Rodgers, you know, I said he probably was my MVP just for the fact that he's done it through and through all year, never had, besides week 1. Like, he didn't have a week 17 bad game or something. He had it in week 1, and then since then it's been.
They just done 3 picks all year, 4 picks all year?
Yeah, 4, I think.
Ridiculous.
Wild.
Yeah.
Now he's probably going to throw 2 or 3 in the playoffs and be out in the NFC Championship. But, you know, I didn't say that. Like, we're good.
LaFleur might not go for the 4th down, and then you know, everything goes bad and they can't win.
Yeah. Yeah. Heads up, Duff, Mike, and camera good with steps, voice, sync with camera. Yeah. We do have his mic, like, we have his surface muted because we are going off of just the Mac, so we got to figure all that out eventually.
All right.
Hopefully. But, yeah, he is a little bit behind, but hopefully that's just visual behind, and we're good from there. We'll figure
Yeah.
if we can figure that out, Clam, after, let us know. That'd be fantastic.
Yes, that would. If
But-
not, Clem, give me a MacBook, please.
Yeah, there we go. We'll figure it out as we go with the MacBook. But Rodgers MVP talk, I think it's his, like, he says he wants to play in week 18. I doubt he does. If it's, it'll be your fourth preseason game
Right.
for some of these teams. Even I would say the Chiefs, like, make sure you kind of get ahead. Like, if we're up 28 to whatever, 28-14, not 28-14, but if we're up 28-0 on the Broncos or something like that Saturday, we're probably resting most starters in the third and fourth, barring injuries, stuff like that.
And this is the thing you run into. Like, you've seen teams where they rest their starters and don't even play them, and then they're super sluggish coming out. So my thing is, do you bring Rodgers out there, the team, whatever, go through your normal warm-ups, let him take a couple series, run some vanilla stuff, and then sit him on the sideline just to get that kind of game flow going, that kind of normalcy, and then you're off the next week because you got the first round bye, then play? Or do you just set all your starters now, not worry about it, and then take it? What happened?
Jared said, bro, AB recorded himself farting in the doctor's face. Give Kai more love than that.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, listen, I'm not judging AB on his past anymore, okay? We're moved on. I read the article. AB's a new born again good guy, all right? I forgot all about that.
My brother
goodness.
killed piece of that to me. Or Trav sent it to me. One of my brothers sent it to me. Yeah, forgot about that.
I enjoy Kyrie Irving. Like, granted, he did screw over my LeBron in Cleveland. Like, I think that could have been, like, they could still be in Cleveland probably winning. I don't know if Giannis ever has one, barring injury, if that happens. But, like, it's one of those, like, I wish he wouldn't have left just to see what it was. Yeah, like, and I feel like LeBron's career is full of it could have been something.
Yeah.
Like, after Miami, if he just would have stayed in Miami.
My thing is, my total thing is with staying in Miami, I think if they'd have won the first one and not lost in the Mavs, I don't think he ever left.
Well, I don't think he ever leaves Cleveland if Shaq doesn't get hurt the year that Shaq's there, because they were running through easily. And then Shaq broke his hand or whatever and couldn't go. And I remember that year being special because I was like, Kevin Hart just started coming up. They were all in the crowd for one of his stand-up specials, and they were talking about Shaq falling down, and it's like, God damn it, and LeBron had to go over there and help him, and Shaq's like, ooh, like, falling all slow and everything. Yeah, just cracks me up. Like, I remember that, but then, like, Shaq even said, like, LeBron probably has more championships if I don't get my hand broken by Big Baby or whatever against the Celtics. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those that Shaq kind of still, like, I think he still, after that, went to Phoenix or whatever and still had some decent, like, he wasn't the superstar that he was, but like, that's all LeBron needed. Like, LeBron could drive. You got a 7'2" dude in there and stuff like that, and you got one of the best in the career. Like, he could shoot too. Like, what's crazy about Shaq is I didn't notice he had that many handles until I watched that All-Star game where he was like, I forgot who was playing, like, one-on-one, and he was like, boom. But, like, the ball's so small, like, it's like playing with a Nerf ball, like, trying to dribble. Like, that's Shaq with a regular-ass basketball, and that's kind of scary to me. Like, there might not have been giants back in, like, Bible times and stuff like that. There's just regular-ass dudes like Shaq that were giants back then.
Look up videos of Shaq trying to drink out of a water, like a regular water bottle. Yeah, it's just, he's holding it like this because his hands are so big.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. It'd crazy to be a giant for a day. That'd be wild. But back to some NFL talk, some MVP talk. We're getting squirreled out here, like always. Guys. Some MVP talk. I think Rodgers wins it. Do we almost, like, he came out, he put his name on it. We should probably take away his MVP vote. Yeah, he shouldn't get one. I don't think.
Who?
Hub, him, Hoob, whoever said that shit about Aaron Rodgers, saying basically I'm not voting for him. Yeah, like, I think if you have other like. Granted, he's probably saying that mostly because he's a Bears fan. Like, you listen to Big Cat on Pardon My Take. It was Rodgers should be arrested for saying that he was immunized and not really got the vaccine. Like, they needed to put him in jail, arrest him, because he's just a big Bears fan, and that guy's kind of a writer for his rivals. And he said it wasn't even for the virus stuff, like we talked about, that they were going to be, like I said, voters probably wouldn't vote for him because of that. It was because of he said the off-season stuff. When he shows up day one to training camp or whatever, and you're worried about off-season stuff is why you're not voting for him. You obviously have an agenda that you're following.
Yeah.
It's not you don't think Aaron Rodgers is the best. Like, he did say Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, but Jonathan Taylor is not gonna get it because the repeated or the multiple MVP. Rodgers was MVP the year before, and he's done nothing but advance his stats from that year and do better and limit his turnovers. He's got to be.
Granted, I like Jonathan Taylor if he got the MVP. Awesome.
I don't think we'd be mad about it.
I wouldn't be mad about it, but it always comes down to like, hey, you're quarterback. You touch the ball every play. You're in control of everything, and he is playing out of his mind. He's playing some of the best football he's ever played in his career. So I mean, what can you do?
And it doesn't help that Jonathan Taylor had a good game and the Colts still lost to the Raiders. Like that doesn't help. Like all that's happened since Rodgers came back because they've won.
Right.
Like, they've lost a game without him, and then they lost to the Vikings that I called to my own horn, and then the Saints.
Yeah.
So they lost to the Chiefs when he was gone, Vikings before that, and then the Saints at the very beginning.
Right.
And since then, he's just been on a roll, and it's kind of just like any NFL. It's what have you done for me lately kind of thing. He's done it all.
Yeah. The only way Jonathan Taylor wins it if he goes out Sunday and runs for like 300 yards.
Yeah, what I said, I think he needed 266 to get 2,000 yards. And like I said, like that was my take when we had our spaces to call in the show, which we might do that again sometime this week. But he'd have to be the triple crown of running backs. Like Cooper Kupp could almost shoe in as the second to me because he's the triple crown of wide receiver.
Yeah, but Matt Stafford's messing that up for him.
Well, is he? Or is it showing you how good Cooper Kupp is to be a positional? Like in the offseason, we're going to have to do our top 5 players that are not quarterback, like positional players. We'll do that. We'll do top 5. We'll get our coaches of the year after week 18 because that's kind of when everything goes down. But like we need to do that because that's like Cooper Kupp might have to be up there kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because he's doing it without a quarterback, I guess you could say. I don't know.
It depends. Like,
is he broken?
I don't know, man.
7 turnovers in the past 3 games.
Yeah, he does. I don't know.
I mean,
I texted you. I said I don't know if he's as good as everybody says he is.
I'm just glad my fantasy was already lost before he decided to start shitting.
Yeah. All right, fantasy. Let's go, fantasy champ right here. Let's get it.
Not in the You Hear Us Fantasy Football League.
No,
that goes out to.
I got last place, pretty sure.
Yeah, special shout out to Levi Little. Yeah. Speaking of Levi Littlefield, congratulations for championship. But Trent, I was looking at the projections of beginning of the year to end of the year, and he was one of the top 3 worst of projections of being like possible first place to like last place. Like it was not good for our boy.
When
your
team gets hurt,
you started out 3-0, I think.
3-0, yeah. I had McCaffrey,
rolling dudes,
CEH. I had somebody else. Did I have Kyler Murray on my team?
You might.
I had Kyler Murray or Josh Allen, either one. But I think it was Kyler Murray. He goes out forever. CEH, he don't play. He plays was half man, half a season. And then you got CEH.
Is that a short joke?
Take it how you want to.
I'm just saying you might be talking shit on short people, but if you had Kyler Murray, you drafted some pretty short people too.
Man, they produce. They're supposed to, but not for me.
What do you mean they? No, I'm kidding. What do you mean you people? Yeah. No. But I love that movie.
I drafted that unicorn on my team. You know
there you
go.
Yeah. But I had Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
The week that I needed him though to possibly get into the playoffs because the 2 teams that won our fantasy football, the You Hear Us Fantasy Football League, one of them was 8-6, and the other one that was playing for it was 6-9 or something like that. So I mean, but he got in because one division was a lot worse than 8-6 actually won the division. He ended up winning it all on that side. But the guy that played for second beat me because we did the last week of the season was the last week there was a bye. And unfortunately I had Jonathan Taylor and that was bye week was the last week to get in. So I lost and he got in the playoffs, got second, and I had to give him, some of the money. But Levi Littlefield did win our fantasy football league. We do have a belt that next year our plan is we're going to have 10 teams, maybe 16. We might split it up like the big league that I was in this year where you have 8 and 8. You can draft the same players on the other side of the board, and then you match up, stuff like that. But when we do that, hopefully we'll do that live, and we will give him his championship belt.
There you go.
That I don't plan on letting anybody else have after this year. So he can keep it warm for me for a year, and then it's mine for all eternity.
You can think about it. You can think you can have it for all eternity, but it ain't happening. I'm coming for that belt.
I've been watching the Pat McAfee show, and he's got that little baby belt that he throws up here, and he pats, and AJ's like, what are you doing? He's like, showing it off because you ain't got one. Like, that's what I want to do with the belt. Just but I got to have it back. So we'll probably, we're going to do a lot of things with fantasy. We're going to try to eventually, we got big things coming. My entrepreneurial mind, I want a studio one day. I want to be able to bring in our fantasy football champion. He can sit here and talk shit to us, talk to us about everything like that. I have some guests in here one day. We might have McAfee rolling through here to interview us one day. Maybe that'd be wild.
Oh, dude,
doubt
it.
Wild. But it'd be.
Hey, we can help.
It'd be getting crazy. Yeah. I don't know if we'd be able to do a show because I'd be like, that McAfee kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Where were we at? We squirreled again. Damn it! You got to keep me in line.
I was going to.
Why do we have two guys that have ADHD?
We hit Rodgers. No, we're fine. We're MVP talk with Rodgers.
Then
we talk about Jonathan Taylor. Then we start talking about fantasy. I got you.
Okay.
And now it's on to the next one. That's on to the next thing.
One. Jimmy John's.
Yeah. At Michigan Jim?
Michigan Jim Harbaugh with the perfect cha-ching move of, hey, agent, say that I might want to go back to the Raiders here and let me get – I just signed this team-friendly deal. I got all these things of if I do better. This guy Mel Tucker at Michigan State, same state I am, is making $10 million a year. You got me down here making $4 million with incentives. Mm-hmm. And I just went to the
college football playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs. And I gave up all that money, that extra incentives to my people that were in need, that were on my coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what he's doing? Or is he really thinking about maybe going to the NFL? Like, hey, I did. Finally, I got over that hump, but I like NFL a lot better kind of thing.
He was successful in the NFL. He can make the transition.
He could. But he had, one bad year, and then the 49ers let him go. Granted, they wanted Kyle Shanahan or Sean McVay, and they got one of the two that they got, so.
I think it's one of those that he has all the power. If he wants to go to the NFL, they're going to take him with open arms. If he wants to stay, he's proven he's somewhat successful at Michigan. You win every game but Ohio State.
But it's that's the thing. If he goes to the NFL to one of these jobs, and I have a few jobs that are open, a few jobs that possibly might get open, there's only one that doesn't really have a quarterback that wouldn't be his best quarterback right now, and that's if Sean Payton decides he wants to go somewhere else instead of being, which I'm just throwing that out there. That was some things I heard, he might not want to be with the Saints anymore because he doesn't know what direction to go with, kind of thing.
Yeah,
he's never not had a quarterback. So
I hate that because I think Winston would have been okay if he wouldn't have got hurt.
Yeah. But it's one of those, he's coming off of that. Does he ever get back to it? He did so much to get Winston to kind of calm down.
Yeah.
That now it's now he's got the pressure of, all right, I have a knee. I got to do that. I got to overcome that. I got to overcome people thinking of interception, stuff like that. But my thing is, if he goes to the Raiders, he has Derek Carr or Mariota. Mm-hmm. He goes to the Jags, he has Trevor Lawrence, obviously one of the best quarterback that he would have had. He goes to the Bears. They possibly have Justin Fields there. That's going to be there. That everybody thinks is the future.
And he's familiar with Fields too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Cowboys, maybe they get if the Cowboys have another letdown, Jerry won't let him go because Jerry loves the fact that he can have somewhat of control, and that's why the Cowboys will probably never win a Super Bowl until
Jerry gets up control. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we know how Jerry's going to give up control though. So when that happens, maybe he takes a Denver position if they kind of because that's what people were saying, kind of Aaron Rodgers' favorite place. There's other people that the Pittsburgh Steelers, if Mike Tomlin decides he wants to leave, which I don't think he will. I think
no way Tomlin leaves if it's just mutual. When they're like, hey, he's just this is my last go round. I think they've.
And this is just my opinion.
Yeah,
Tomlin should just go to the Jags. Like I said, it's a job with a legend in the making, kind of thing. He goes to the Jags. He has Trevor Lawrence. He turns that team all the way around. They're putting a statue out there the first year that he becomes something or gets to the Super Bowl kind of thing because they've never been there. I got to sneeze if you can't tell my eyes.
I'm not going to say anything because they're talking about dude.
But I'm not going to be able to sneeze because I talked about it now. But damn, I got to sneeze bad. And I was trying to get through it, but I'm kind of thing. But there's just several positions that, and those are just ones that we named out. Usually there's 5 to 7 position or job openings every year, it seems like.
Yeah.
Joe Judge should be out.
No, well, he signed back up.
It sounds like he signed back up, but I think that's dumb because the GM's probably going to be out. They're going to give Joe Judge another year, which means you're probably losing out on our guy over at ESPN that does the
Lou.
Yeah, I think they're losing Lou because I don't think Lou's going to want to come in.
No.
Unless
not unless he has the control to do what he needs to do.
Unless like they've said, hey, do you kind of like Joe? But like this dude's out here ranting for 11 minutes about just dumb stuff. Like, at least we don't have our players fighting like Washington. You know, I got several people that's called me that's left, and they're like, oh, we want to come back. You know, we want to be Giants. No, you don't. Shut up.
No.
Like there was stuff like that. His rant was longer than the Gettysburg Address. Like there were several things. Like, what are we doing? Like, why are you even talking? Like, he's acting like these players still want to play for him. I hope they come out. Like, but I've not been a Joe Judge fan. Matt Nagy shouldn't be a coach. Like several of these
Matt Nagy
people
shouldn't be a head coach.
Head coach.
Yeah.
Offense coordinator.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
They call them OCs in the NFL, so I don't call them coaches.
Yeah.
Buddies. Coach or quarterback's best friend, basically, kind of thing. If you're a good quarterback. So, you know.
Oh, okay. So we're talking about Harbaugh taking one of these jobs. Has Bieniemy even been considered for any head coaching job?
They haven't even said anything about him being to the Jags. I don't know.
My thing is, since he hasn't actually got a job in the last couple of years, he's just going to stay.
Maybe, or I think he might go college route eventually. Yeah. But like that's my thing is how long? Like he probably is just going to try to be like Andy Reid just saying, hey, when I go, make this guy number one or whatever. But there's other people. You also have to think of the special teams coach was kind of the head coach when Andy was out with COVID. Like Doug Nab or whatever his name is, our special teams guy was the head coach and all that. So, I mean, there's several options there, but I think EB should get a chance. And why not with the people the quarterback and trust kind of thing, instead of trying to go somewhere else and it might not work out, because Andy Reid's guys don't have a track record of being good head coaches after they leave, kind of thing. I mean, you have Nagy now. They make.
Well, he's gone. But he
might get a second chance.
Yeah, but he got a championship out of it, though.
He did.
Yeah.
From Big Dick Nick, by the way. We should throw that out there. Anytime I can say Big Dick Nick, I'm going to say it. Like that dude. Should have been starting for them the other week when Andy Dalton won the game. Still should have been Big Dick's Nick time to shine. But then, there's several other options. Like, there's going to be that firing or retiring or moving on that we don't see coming kind of thing. I mean, do you think there's any other spots besides Jags, Bears, Raiders, Broncos, Cowboys, Chargers? He's fine. I'm trying to think of our division.
Broncos?
Yeah, I said Broncos.
Okay.
Cowboys was kind of like if they haven't let down, but I don't think Jerry Jones is going to let him go. Washington, I think they enjoy the grittiness of Ron Rivera.
Ron's not getting fired.
Panthers, I still think he needs to go. Matt Rule.
Yeah, Matt Rule's the next one.
Needs to go, but I think he gets one more chance. I think he gets next year.
I think if
Joe Judge gets another year, Matt Rule should get. Yeah,
I think with Darnold getting hurt and then
fuck Darnold.
I know, but Darnold and then CMC getting hurt, I think it kind of just threw their season kind of out the window. And whatever happened, like, hey, it's not on you, Matt Rule. I mean, you did what you could with what you got. Sad to say, because my man Cam didn't come through for me or us. But I think he gets another shot. Now, when everybody gets back healthy and whoever you find to play quarterback, and if you suck again, you got to go.
Yeah, gots to go.
Gots to go.
Gots to get on up out of here.
You ain't got to go.
You ain't got to stay here.
But you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here.
Bingo. There's the line.
Bingo.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean it's crazy because this draft is going to be not a quarterback draft, so like it's going to suck for Carolina because they're going unless they go get that bridge quarterback. People are asking in the chat and other people have kind of mentioned it, like Carr might not be in Las Vegas next year, but it's like, where else would he go? And do you trust, like, who else are you going to get if you're the Raiders? Like, yeah, it's not worked out. Like, you can't get over the hump of beating the Chiefs or anything, but, like, it's kind of like Baker Mayfield. What's better than it? Yeah, you've seen what it was before Baker. Yeah. Do you want that chance of it being that after Baker? Like, you're not getting I guess Las Vegas could possibly get the Rodgers rate. They could get Russell Wilson. They could get maybe Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Like they could be because it's a different thing.
Russ is only going there if Sierra's going to let him go there.
But it's a branding area. Like you could become a big name there.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the teams. Like Russ ain't going to the Browns. Rodgers ain't going to the Browns. Deshaun Watson unless they trade him, but like they're not going. Like unless the Browns give up like. But no, because he has a no trade clause, so he's not going to the Browns. Like it's Miami, maybe the Panthers, maybe Denver.
Like this is how I look at it. Like, do you Raiders fans? Is there any other option besides keeping Carr, Or do you want to get a draft pick, but I still take Carr over any quarterback coming out this year or any quarterback you can find in a draft? I'll still keep Carr over basically any free agents that are coming out. I mean, you can maybe get Trubisky, but do you think Trubisky's better than Carr? I don't. I think Trubisky should get a shot, but I don't think it's better. You have a Carr right now. So it's like you can bitch and complain about having Derek Carr, but who else you going to – like you said, who else you going to get? There's no one else out there.
Yeah, there's –
unless you want to trade Baker for Carr, do you want that?
But what's – yeah.
And
Baker was good before injury. But, like, now it's like it's almost the same thing that you had with AB. Like, some people are saying, like, hey, his injury wasn't actually as bad as, like, he led it to believe kind of thing. And then Baker's like, yeah, I'm going to have surgery. And then, like, why weren't you, once you were just eliminated from the playoffs, did you not just go do it then? Like, why did you trot back out there kind of thing? Like, I just don't know what's going on there. But everybody's kind of turned on him. It seems like Stefanski might even be like there was a lot of times in that game that you watched it that you're like, why isn't Chubb running the football? You know your quarterback's hurt. You know Chubb can take care of it. Why are we throwing the football? And it's almost like Stefanski was like, hey, look, this is what you guys have me with. It's not working.
Trying to make a point?
Yeah, trying to make a point like, hey, this isn't it.
We're out of playoffs, so let me show you why.
Yeah, well, let me show you why we're out of the playoffs. But I did do on Twitter a player A, player B option on the You Hear Us, at You Hear Us on Twitter. If you are not following us, please do follow. But I did a poll. I said, which one would you rather have, player A, player B? Well, player A was Baker Mayfield. Player B was Lamar Jackson. The only thing that separated them is that Lamar had about 500 more total yards because I put the passing and rushing together, and he had 1 or 2 more interceptions. Both of them had 18 touchdowns. One of them had 13 turnovers. The other one had 15 turnovers overall because he's fumbled the ball. And I'm sure probably a lot of people by those numbers picked B because, but they didn't know. But, like, I guarantee you, like, me just saying that player A was Baker and player B was Lamar, the unanimous MVP of the league at one point, that's like, oh shit, like when do we give Lamar the benefit of the doubt because he already has an MVP, but like that's all he has over Baker is he has an MVP.
Right. Besides
that, they've both won playoff games. They've both not beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. They both not made it. But besides that, he has an MVP.
Yeah.
But you're going to be like, oh, well, Lamar got hurt. Well, Baker's been playing since week 2 with an injury, so you can't, like, you have to take that out. Yeah,
Lamar hasn't been playing.
Lamar's showed you that he don't want it as bad because it's an ankle sprain. Granted, it might be a high ankle sprain, and
But he didn't leave the field while the game was going on.
Yeah. That's the thing is, like, he's not playing anymore. Baker played through his, but up to Lamar's injury, he wasn't playing up to Lamar standards to me. Like,
okay. Let me flip this on you. So do you get on to Lamar for not playing or and maybe not hindering his team because Huntley did a good job and so did was it Johnson or Jackson? The other backup because Huntley couldn't play because of COVID. And then you got Baker who's being a warrior for you, but his injuries you can tell are hindering him from being productive. Like, do you appreciate Baker playing, or do you, or like, well, Lamar, I feel like you could go, but you feel like you're not going to help the team, so you let somebody else go? It's one of those. I don't know if it's really a right or wrong answer. It's just give or take.
And you kind of know my stance for the fact that I have agreed.
Hates the Ravens.
Hates the Ravens on top of that. But like Baker, I also have said that besides him and his wife coming out and basically telling the fans like, "S my D, shut up, don't talk to me like that. Like I'm playing injured." Like besides that, I've applauded Baker and like kind of been on his side of like, hey, like, dude, he has a arm that basically is disconnected and torn, and you are pissed off at him for going out there. And everybody's like, well, Case Keenum led the team to the NFC Championship. Well, yeah, but what did he do when he went to the Broncos? That's why he's not on the Broncos anymore. Yeah. Like, Baker's a better option when he's healthy. Is he a better option when he's hurt? I don't know. We don't know. Okay. But Baker isn't wanting anybody to find out because, he in his eyes, Case Keenum did lead some to the NFC Championship. Yeah. What happens if Case does come in and ball out?
Yeah.
I still haven't signed.
Right.
Like, the biggest thing is, like, Baker should have took whatever money he could have got. Like, that's hindsight 2020. Hindsight Henry's always right. You screwed yourself by betting on yourself. You still have another year to do it. Maybe because if they go out and get somebody and just don't trade you, you're stuck behind somebody and you have no idea. But I don't applaud Baker for playing through injury, or I guess I do applaud him for playing through injury. But Lamar is worse because they were. I mean, they still have like a 2% chance to make
Yeah.
playoffs on some stupid shit. Like it would have to happen, like fluke shit.
Could you have played to make help your
Yeah.
team get to the playoffs?
Yeah, and Huntley, and that's my thing is, I asked one of my Ravens friends is, do you let like Lamar's bet on himself too? He's not having the best year.
Yeah.
Like you have an MVP, but didn't. I mean, Colin Kaepernick had an MVP like year too. I don't know if he won it, but
Yeah.
And look, he's not in the league now.
No.
Granted, it might be on some
That's
other things,
some
but
other
also,
things.
the year that he played, he wasn't having the best year
Yeah.
to play. But like, did you bet on yourself and screwed yourself because now you got Tyler Huntley as a gym? It's almost like everybody's been saying, Tyler Huntley needs his chance. He needs his chance. All this stuff. What better chance to have it on the Ravens if Lamar doesn't want to play or
right? So
stuff like that.
let me ask you: if you switch the quarterbacks and let's say Lamar plays for the Browns and Baker plays for the Ravens, does Baker sit because Huntley's a better option than Case Keenum? So does Baker be like, you know what, I can go. We're not getting anything, so I can sit. Huntley can come in, and Lamar realized behind Mike, dude, my backups are trash. If we're gonna do this,
or he thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
then,
Baker with an unproven backup is like, I'm gonna get this figured out. But like, it sounded like with Baker, like he continued to play because it was like, hey, you have surgery, you're shut down the whole year. Like there's no 2 months. We make the playoffs, you can be back for the playoffs kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's you have this, you're done kind of thing. With Lamar, it's gonna be here and there. Maybe he plays. It sounds like he might not even play. Like at this point, I don't know. You just don't play him. Like Huntley's done enough for you.
Yeah, you can win with Huntley.
Yeah, exactly. So
crazy thing is, let's say they somehow make a miracle and they make it into the playoffs and they go on a run. That's when it gets tricky. You turn into a Nick Foles situation. Then we're like, all right, well, I can clearly win with Huntley, and it's basically Lamar 2.0. Granted, Lamar is probably way more special with his feet.
Maybe,
but
maybe more special with his feet. But these balls that Huntley is throwing,
yeah,
don't
get me wrong.
Okay,
hey, you can't overlook it.
Yeah.
So there's like, oh my gosh, what do we do here?
Lamar Jackson definitely scares you more than Baker and Huntley. But like, it's one of those like, we can get Huntley for however many more years at a cheaper rate and just keep it moving.
But hey, does Huntley go to the Raiders? Something crazy like that.
I don't know.
Has he played himself into getting a look
and
with a
that's what I
different
need
team?
to find out is if Huntley is on a yearly contract or what he's on. But like if he's under contract, you could maybe get a nice little haul, a couple packages for him.
Use him as trade bait.
Yeah, and see what you got going on there. Because like if you can get a second or third round for him, that's a player.
Yeah.
If the Raiders reach out to him, the Broncos, anything like that, and then bada boom, bada bing, you got players. Yeah, so he's only on a 1-year contract. He is a ERFA, so I don't know.
ERFA.
It's not unrestricted, so I don't know what that is. Maybe
some type of, I don't know.
Maybe it's a type of restriction, like the team can match it and keep him there. But yeah, he's not even making $1 million, and he's got a 1-year contract, and boom, he's
Lamar. Also, I just pulled it up on my phone. Lamar is not at practice this week, at the start of the week.
Yeah.
So he hasn't played since suffering an ankle injury December 12th.
And it'll probably be the same song and dance that he might try to show up Thursday and he'll limp on it, and they'll be like, all right, he doesn't want to be like.
Yeah.
I don't think Lamar wants to be there. I think he's just like, all right, whatever. I've done enough this year to look somewhat
My
good.
thing is, where else? Like, I get it.
No, I'm not saying he don't want to be with Baltimore.
Oh,
I just
okay.
think this year he's just like,
you know what? Yeah.
checked out kind of thing. But he's kind of always seemed to have that mentality to me. Like, things are going good, he's having a great time. Things are going bad, don't talk to me. Like, I'm not. It's just that it's kind of like that Kyler Murray body language that I've seen. That it's just kind of like.
I think where it showed it the most was in the playoffs on the year he won the MVP, and his team didn't help him out one bit against, was it the Titans?
Yeah.
Because it was the year the Chiefs
won the Super Bowl. Yeah.
I mean, if you go back and look at it, if I remember correctly, he played a decent game.
I don't think he helped out there at the end. Didn't he have like 2 or 3 interceptions?
He might have, but I feel like there's some part of there, like he didn't play great, but he wasn't terrible. But like there was drops and other players had turnovers. Like it's one of those things. Everything went bad, and then his body language wasn't the greatest.
Yeah.
Granted, I mean, in that situation, body language is probably not going to be the greatest, but I get what you're saying.
I just think he's checked out all the injuries on defense, all the things they probably wanted to do. They had J.K. Dobbins. They planned on doing all this. That happened. I'm out. Now
you don't have a full strength team. Like, why?
I'm not going back out there to twist my ankle again, kind of thing.
And if there's really not a chance for them to make the playoffs, why even play?
Yeah. And again, I called it. Just wanted to let everybody know that. I said that they were going to turn into ass cheeks eventually because mainly of injuries, and injuries just don't stop happening.
Yeah,
like it's like turnovers, like in slow pitch softball or even baseball. Like you have one error, usually another error. Like it just cycles through, and the next thing you know, you're down 10 to 15 runs, and you're like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah,
all because one error or one person didn't get the transfer right correctly.
The main game that brings that up into my head was, I think it was 2 years ago. It was the Braves versus the Cardinals in the playoffs. I think it was a closeout game for the Cardinals, and it just everything went wrong for the Braves. And then it blew them. They got blown out. But it's just like one thing to snowball into another, and it's just like, Jesus.
The it brings me up to me because being a Royals fan, the Royals-Astros game in the playoffs where the Royals were down, I think, 2-1 or whatever. Process elimination, ball hit right back up the middle. Should have been an easy play for the shortstop for the Astros. Absolutely bombs the ball. Next thing you know, the Royals come back. They're in the World Series. They win the World Series that year. Like, just things happen like that, snowball effect. That's what the injuries. Dobbins went down with ACL. Everybody's, oh my God, what are they going to do without Dobbins? Like, okay, what they already traded Mark Ingram. They planned on this.
Right.
Boom. Next, Marcus Peters gone for the year.
Yeah.
Boom. Lineman gone for the year. Boom. I mean, just everybody just dropping like flies. So, next year, though, like, I think that he's just checked out. He's just like, look, even if we made the playoffs, we weren't going to, we got lucky against the Chiefs. We got lucky against some of these teams. We've been killed by some of these teams. We barely beat the Lions. Let's just get on to next year. We'll see where we're at, kind of thing. Like Jim Harbaugh. John
Harbaugh. Jim is at Michigan.
Yes. John's going to coach him up. I mean, he could be coach of the year but I wrote the article about Mike Vrabel being the coach of the year just for the main fact that they've had the same amount of injuries, and wouldn't you know it, they're first place in the division on the AFC side. Division, obviously, and the conference. So that's one of those. We do have Week 18 coming up. We will come back to that on Friday. But also on top of all of that, let's see. I mean, is there much else? LeBron.
I know. I got something for you before we sneak out of here. I was listening to Key Max and J Will, however they want to say it.
J Max.
Yeah. Okay. How do you feel about college players opting out of bowl games?
I'm the same as what Keyshawn said.
Yeah.
In the 90s, he wasn't doing it.
No, exactly.
Now,
yeah. If I'm not playing in the college football playoff and I'm just going to have for a bowl game and I'm sacrificing millions
and
dollars,
millions,
to go put on some school spirit.
And like they've watered down. Like you can't. Like this is the thing. It used to be just the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
It used to be just the Sugar Bowl. You're getting mad at players opting out to go do what? Make their money.
Yeah.
Now what is it? The Rose Bowl's something else. The Sugar Bowl's the All-State Sugar Bowl.
Yeah.
Y'all motherfuckers went and got your money, and you got a staple to you, and now you're mad at these players. Be like, actually,
exactly.
I'm out.
Yeah.
The one I would play in, if the coaches don't allow it, at this point in time, I would have played in that PlayStation Bowl.
Yeah, because I'm getting a PlayStation.
Yes, fine. I'm so heated. I'm like, how did they got 162 PlayStation 5s to give here, but I can't go to damn Walmart or Best Buy and buy one? Like, this is
bullshit.
Have you ever
heard of some of the stuff they get in those bowl games?
Swag bags. Like, but this is the thing. All they got was a PS. Like I say, all they got was a PS5 and a game to be named later in a day, which is probably gonna be. They're gonna send
football.
NCAA football. But like, all of my thing is they could turn and flip that PS5 to $1,000 like that. Like people were playing in that one to get the PS5.
Yeah.
Like I would have been like, all right, I'm gonna enter the transfer portal today.
Yeah.
What team's playing? And I'm gonna go ahead and show up for them. Be on the sideline. Let me get that swag bag.
Yeah. I just wanted your quick thoughts on that because it's the same as mine. Like you can't get mad at the kids for opting out and trying to do what's best for them.
Jared said, it's the first take world, boys. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Right. Love you. Good night. Low Rhymer says, Trent .. Bengals dollars. Did you bet somebody?
That's my buddy Drew. Yeah.
Okay.
Because remember I said, hey, Bengals, my dark horse pick.
Yeah.
Hey, get that money. Now I don't.
They were supposed to be a dark horse when the Chiefs possibly don't make the playoffs. So you don't start doing the money man's.
I'm not. Hey, I'm just saying. I Chiefs all the way. But if the Bengals get there, I told you. Just remember that. You heard it here first. I told you.
Yeah, what are you going to do when they lose first round, though?
Hey, I mean, that's their forte. I mean, how many times they had the best roster, best team?
It gets a lot colder towards the end of January.
And they don't have the indoor practice facility.
I mean, you had Ocho Cinco at one point, and you couldn't even.
Well, they had when Andy Dalton, they had Marvin Lewis coaching them. I mean, they were loaded.
That might have been the problem with Marvin Lewis. That dude was there for. I mean, that might be almost Mr. 8-8 or whatever before.
Yeah.
Before.
But it's like I think one year, you got to look it up. They probably won like 13 games one year. Mm-hmm. First round, boom, blown out. They could never. They didn't when Marvin Lewis was there. They didn't win a first round game. I mean, they made it to the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this
they didn't
is
win a playoff
also,
game. Sorry, they didn't win a playoff game. Period.
I do want to get back to the college aspect of it. You know, you talk about bowls and this is. You expand the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's how you get people not to opt out. And you don't even have to add games. Like, you didn't have any of these bowl games until December 31st, right?
Yeah.
The two that mattered. How many bowl games do we have that started like...
They start for Christmas. They start right after Christmas.
Well, no, not all the bowl games. There's bowl games before Christmas, too.
Yeah, you're right.
That whole week there's bowl games.
Yeah.
So, like... You have 2 or 3 more bowl games that first week, and you can narrow it down to 4 right after Christmas on December 31st. And like we still had a bowl game last night. We had LSU K-State. Yeah. You could easily have it set up and keep the same amount of years or keep the same amount of games, get these other bowl games, the Cheez-It Bowl,
they could be the
Duke's
first
Mayo
rounds,
Bowl. Yeah.
The Duke's Mayo Bowl can be, hey, that's the first 16 teams. Like the first, each game they play, it could be a bowl game.
The top 4 could even still get a bye.
Yeah.
But then those 4 play a different team, and then you play the 2, and then you play.
Yeah, it still be the semifinals, a different bowl game. Yeah. Hey, welcome to the All-State Sugar Bowl semifinal.
Because who's mad that Notre Dame plays Oklahoma State? They win. One of them goes and plays Georgia.
Yeah,
nobody's mad.
No.
Who's mad that?
Everybody makes money. Yes. That's the thing.
Who's mad that Cincinnati gets a bye because they're a top 4 team, and they have to play somebody else?
No, I'm joking.
No, I'm not mad.
No.
I'm mad that there's not more. Like I would. Like, that's my thing, is it becomes bowl season. I don't care. Like, I'll be honest with you. I didn't watch any college football until the Oregon
Oklahoma game.
I was like, all right, I'm going to watch this game. This is the game that I'm going to start watching football because we're getting close there. But, like, that's a game that would have been exciting to see. Like, okay, they're
Oklahoma
playing
State
for some
Notre Dame game was wild.
How many people don't opt out, too? Because, like that's the thing.
Because it matters.
The LSU K-State game, I mean, granted, they were 6-6. They're probably not going to be in a bowl. I'm not saying make it 16 teams.
Yeah.
I'm saying make it 8, 10, or whatever you need.
Yeah.
12 was
to where 12 was the max. I think
12 to where you have 8 teams playing, and then you have the 4 byes, and then those 8 teams become the 4 that play the 4, and then 2, and then 1.
Yeah.
Did we just figure it out? I think we just did.
Yeah.
Call us. We want our residual.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm at on that. As I just think teams with a bye would miss money. I mean, maybe, but they wouldn't in a sense of that. They get that extra week, and they're still playing in the bigger bowl. They're playing in the All-State Sugar Bowl. They're playing in the Rose Bowl, or you can bring the Rose Bowl back. Like, they alternate all of those to keep it.
Right.
But now, like, the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Yeah.
They're still gonna. Those 2 teams are gonna advance on.
They can still keep the bowl games.
Yeah.
And the bowl games would just be sectioned off into the first round, second round of the playoffs. And then, like you said, every year they can rotate. So the first year the Rose Bowl can be a national championship. Then the next year it's one of the semifinals,
Sugar Bowl, and then
Cotton Bowl's national championship, or whatever, however you want to spin it.
The Alamo Bowl or whatever. Yeah, like that. I mean, granted, some of them bowls are gonna be like you play those bowl games and then you just move on. Like, I guess there still would kind of be more games because if you won your first bowl, it's not going to be a bowl anymore. Maybe, Like, the national championship isn't a bowl; it's just the college.
They might not want to change to call them bowl games anymore. Yeah. It's like, hey, this is the Duke's Mayo quarterfinal.
Yeah,
and then you got the whatever.
They buy the branding for that.
Yeah, buy the branding for it. Yeah, and it's not to call it bowl game. It just be a sponsor for that quarterfinal, semifinal, first round.
And
whatever.
then if you don't make it a bye, you make everybody play everybody. That's fine too.
Yeah,
I mean, you have 6 games, and then you have the. Well, I mean, you'd have to figure it out because
8, 4, 2, 1.
Yeah, you'd have to do that because then you'd have to have 16 teams.
Yep. Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah. Well, who cares?
Yeah.
Like
16, you know what we're saying.
Yeah.
You guys know what we're saying.
The 11th. I mean, that was Baylor. I think Baylor was up there.
Yeah.
Like, that wouldn't have been a bad game. They looked dominant against the SEC.
I wouldn't mind watching the top 10 play.
Wait,
did
they beat Ole Miss? I can't remember.
I'm not sure. I know Corral got hurt, and he thought about opting out, but he gets hurt. Now what happens to your draft stock?
Yeah,
because you can't
and
throw.
Did
stuff
you
like
hear?
that.
Did you listen to the Pat McAfee show about with AJ Hawk about opting out?
No,
he wouldn't opt out because he's a middle linebacker.
Yeah,
but he's like, I'm not saying that if I don't go out there and make a couple good tackles, we get up by a little bit, that I don't accidentally get a targeting penalty.
Yeah,
and I'm out the game. I'm not hurt. Right. Hopefully, they made it like, of course, AJ, you're gonna go try to kill somebody, and then
step out.
Yeah, and then step out. And he's like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm just gonna lower my head. And I watched something stupid. It was a couple years back that a kicker got kicked out of the game for targeting, and it was basically he ducked his head like that and hit somebody. Yeah. But that's where you got to be like, hey, this is the damn kicker.
Come on, he ain't hit nobody. He can't bust a grape in a fruit fight.
Yeah, but no, I mean that's a good question about the opting out. I probably wouldn't have opted out if I know I'm a first round, not even that.
If I'm a top pick at my position, I'm not opting out. Because granted, you might be a top pick at your position, but it doesn't mean you're going first round because it's all need.
But even that, somebody said that he was I think it was AJ said that one of his players, his buddies, was a 4th round pick. He didn't play, and they're like, "Oh, did you think you were going higher?" He goes, "No, I think I was going exactly where I was going to go, but I'm not going to injure myself because I get myself injured. I might not be a 4th round anymore. I might be undrafted,
right? And that's
league minimum,
dangerous.
Yeah.
But you can always make yourself better." Like it is by workouts, but you're able to work out. But if you're not able to work out and show teams go from 4th round or 2, well, undrafted free agent, and it's really hard to get in there now.
And I think the NIL deals could actually fix the opting out part, and it also hinders. People used to go to colleges for that's the team that they enjoyed growing up. That's the team that's fought for me that they want me kind of thing. But NIL deals could say, hey, we're going to give you this much amount of money. All 4 years, you opt out, you lose that check or whatever.
It's affected right now with Deion Sanders. He got the number 1 player in high school, won through an NIL deal. I think he has a huge NIL deal to go play at Jackson State.
Yeah.
That's changing everything.
Yeah. But then that's what I'm saying is an NIL deal, you could put that in the clause of, hey, you don't play, you don't get paid. And it could, and that's what also it's affecting. Some people are going to opt out because they've already got the money too. Yep. But that's how you fix it. Is you just say, hey, you're not getting all of this. We're not going to pay you. The rest of this we owe you if you're not in it. Yeah. And then on the other side of it, it's well, I've got this money. I'm going to opt out because I'm going to go get more money. Yeah. It's whatever. I think NIL deals are a good thing for college players. Yeah. I'm a white. I don't like to bring it up, but to me, all these coaches that are this is bad. It's modern day slavery. And I hate to compare it to slavery, but it is. I mean, they're literally making billions and billions of dollars for a certain entity, and they're not getting shit out of it besides room and board. I mean, basically is what you're going to call it. That's what back in the day, what, the lower offs, what we did wrong, slavery back in the day, that's what they got. That's the kind of the same aspect to me is that you're trying to tell these kids that are doing a profession that they can't get paid like anybody else.
It goes off to the fact that the NCAA is making a butt ton of money. Coaches make a ton of money. And you're making it off the kids, and you're just saying, "Hey, I'm just giving you free education, and I'm giving you a chance to play a sport you love." Yeah. Okay, I get it. Hey, I know a lot of people who got education who don't even use it. Yeah.
I'm looking at one for a little while. You got an education in journalism, but and you're not using it till now. Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. They deserve to get some type of compensation. Granted, and you can't work. Yeah. You can't work while you're doing a sport because you're doing that sport. Yeah. All the time. I did have a job, but I only worked at that job for an hour.
Or you can get a work study.
Hour or 2 hours. Yeah. On a Wednesday. That was it. That's the only time I had. And I'm just getting $40
and they're giving an envelope for doing it. It's not helping you provide.
This never happened to me.
Blink twice if it happened.
I am not blinking.
You just blink.
I just blinked once.
Yeah. Yes. He's tried so hard not to blink twice because he's like, look, I didn't get paid.
Yeah.
But I guess probably statute of limitations is up, so you probably really didn't get paid. But it's one of those
I'm at a D2 school, I didn't get paid. But I do know players who've gotten. Well, I'm not gonna say anything. Yeah, it's out there.
Just in case.
Gotcha. Yeah. I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody.
Yeah. But it's one of those I'm finally glad it's happening, and it pisses me off that Dabo. I hope almost Dabo never wins at Clemson again because of the stupid shit you said about the NIL deals. Or Gene Chizik, who was saying all that shit about Texas shouldn't be able to get to do this, putting all the NIL deals out there for the linemen and stuff like that. And it's dude, you weren't saying shit when you robbed Auburn of $10 million and you were paying Cam Newton and his daddy to come down there and play for you. it wasn't a problem then, but now that it's all legal, you know, you
Yeah.
don't have the benefit of the doubt. And he put in like Chisholm knows or Chisholm knowledge, and I'm like, dude, shut the hell up. Like,
and I mean, the NIL deal, like, granted, it's more access for more players, but before the NIL deals, like, players, like, people are going to get those players some money. Like, I'm sorry, they're going to get money, but NIL deals, I think, help out tremendously. And they're circling back to what we started with, and not opting out, not playing,
better than squirreling.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, bring it all back to full circle. Like, I agree with the players opting out and players being able to get their money, NIL deals or however. I'm all for that. And you might not. Yeah, I respect your opinion, but I'm all for players getting paid.
And I mean, there's you gotta do it for love of the game. Like,
look, I love the game.
Love of the game don't fix my knee or the millions of dollars that I possibly lose,
or my fingers being all kind of turned other directions. Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those that it's a business. At the end of the day, like, and as I've gotten older, I've understand a business aspect of sports. Like, maybe when I was like younger 20s and I could like feel like I could like go out there and still do it, or saying, well, if you don't want to do it, I'll do it. Like, I ain't worried. But you get out there, and as the older you get, you're like, man, that it is a business, because at the end of the day, like, they're just trying to make generational wealth for their families, stuff like that. Like, it's not just like go out there and, you know, granted, you're in a locker room, you have a different mindset. So like what AB did was like crazy, because like when I was in a locker room, I was a hoo-hoo raw guy. Like, I'll go out, do anything for the team kind of thing. And that's still how most people do it in NFL and in college. So it probably, I mean, you got to understand how much of a toll it does take on those players when they are opting out. Yeah. Even if, like, you know, they're a first round pick, like, that's still their brothers. But granted, you know, I'm not going to go play. Like, my brothers should also understand that I'm not going to go play for a jar of mayonnaise in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Yeah,
and that's the other thing that I don't think people realize. Like, your teammates know. Yeah, and I don't think your teammates would be that upset with you for trying to. They understand, like, your love for the school and your love for the football game, but they also understand, like, hey, this is a business. Like, I can't be mad that he doesn't want to hinder himself from making millions of dollars. Like, it's not about, like, college is great. Everybody's like, oh, I love college football, but it's about getting to the next level. Yeah, like, I'm college is a stepping stone. I am going to use this university to get my ass into the league, and that's all what about. That's all.
And maybe I'll be a booster later on in life to get you. You know, like Tyrann Mathieu with LSU. I'll get you a couple more D-backs here, but besides that, like, you show me
a top pick who says I'm up here playing for the love of the game. They're lying. They love the game, but they're here to get paid, to get to the next level, to make all kind of money, to set themselves up for generational wealth. That's
and like, you can't get too mad about some of these people. Like, you say Wouvier from Ohio State, I'm pretty sure they like their top 2 wide receivers opted out. Well, guess what? That showed you Marvin Harrison Jr. and the other guy that went off and had the most, like,
300 some yards in the game.
And his name, it's like Gardner. It's not Gardner Smith. That's the Saints guy that I follow.
I know what you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
but I know.
Which is terrible on us. That we didn't
that
do
is
it.
really bad.
But like, we don't have a Zito in our ear to like, hey, is this guy, like, that's Pat McAfee gets saved a lot by that. But like, you get to see those younger people, and like, honestly, like, that's what bowl games are more for us. And then you got to think, like, all these people talking about NIL deals, hating the kids opting out. Oklahoma didn't have their coach. Notre Dame didn't have their coach that they started the year with. LSU's not going to have their didn't have their coach that they started the year with. Clemson didn't have their D coordinator. Like, all these, like, you're mad at all these players from opting out. The coaches can just leave.
Yeah, that's what the thing I get. Like, are you going to get mad at the coach for just bouncing?
Exactly.
Yeah, and what did he do it for?
Money. Yeah. I forgot who it was.
Jackson Smith. I can't pronounce the last name.
What's it start with?
Jigba. Yeah, NJIGBA.
See, that's one of those cool things. Like, Smith's probably, which he might be adopted too, but like, I like the brothers that get their ancestry and they can kind of find out what their like actual name would be, and then they take their American modern name and then they add it together. Like, that's kind of what that sounds like to me. I don't know if they did it, but like, that's cool as hell to me.
Well, we still got to do a 23andMe.
We do.
Yes.
We need to get that. We should have got it. They were like $43.
Yeah, that or Ancestry.com. I got something. I
think we should do it.
One on my lineage.
We're going to order it. When we get our PrizePicks winnings, check that before we get off here.
Yeah.
We'll shout out PrizePicks one more time before we get off here. But like, because we got to get our money too.
Yeah.
We can't, like,
I'm trying to get paid too.
Yeah. Playoffs? Free? No. That's what, ain't no free pub around here unless you're Red Bull Zero Sugar, which I do have to say.
Donovan Mitchell and Kyle Lowry stopped shooting threes. That's all I got to say.
You got unders on them?
Unders. Well, Donovan Mitchell, I said 4 of them tonight. Donovan Mitchell's getting to the paint. And then Kyle Lowry, I mean, he's a wild card.
doesn't Utah have old White that left-handed? He's out, so that the paint might be in trouble.
The Eiffel Tower? Is the Eiffel Tower?
Is that him right? I don't even know.
Oh, Jokic?
That's not him. No, for Utah.
Oh,
Mr. Lefty.
Conley?
Joe
Ingles.
Joe Ingles. I'm pretty sure he's out with COVID protocol. So is he still? Yeah, he plays for Utah. Yeah. So he might. Mitchell.
Oh, there you go. Hey, we got Jordan Clark hitting shots. Yeah. We're all right.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go ahead and get out of here for the night. We will be back probably Friday. We'll do a live show. I'll be in Pittsburgh. I don't know if you have officiated.
I gotta go. I'm in Iowa.
That ain't too bad.
Yeah.
We'll be back sometime. It probably won't be 8. No, probably.
It won't be. I won't. No, I'll still be.
Might be 9.
On the court.
Oh, on the court, not in court.
Not in court. On the court, yelling at people.
For sure.
Yeah.
But we will get
on me. I trying to be cool.
Y2K. Yeah. Dylan Duffy at Dylan Duffy 1991. You are cool, Trent. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. But we will be back Friday in some sort, either podcast, call-in show, or live show. Are enjoying this. We are in the studio tonight. We need to get some stuff behind us for sure. You obviously got better lighting. Just actually looking at this, the same exact wall paint, and mine is darker. Granted, it might be the nope. Was not that. But the wall behind me is darker. Yours is lighter. Maybe you got a little bit nicer of a view. But again, if you haven't already, please do download PrizePicks. It is an app that is a over/under specialty. Simple app simplified. Simple app simplified. It is a simple app simplified. Again, code you hear us, and it will give you a 100% deposit match.
That's right.
You throw on $10. Just did get our report. We got some big ballers out there that are throwing on $100 bills.
Oh,
they're throwing on some Jacksons,
like it.
Benjamins.
All about the Benjamins, baby.
Yeah, got some Benjis on there. Hopefully they're winning.
I hope so.
They're not letting us know.
Yeah, no,
we need them to start letting us know.
Let us know so I can take your picks.
Yes, but again, I will
fade them picks.
I will tell. No, not fade. Fade's bad. Tail.
Oh, sorry, tail picks.
I will tell the shit out of your picks if you can win us some money. But code you hear us, 100% deposit match. That does go to support us and helps us, get stuff for the studio, get our better cameras instead of the ones on our computers.
Yes. Maybe put a camera up there so we don't have to be staring and looking at each other on the computer.
Exactly. Yeah, because we're like talking to each other, but then we're like looking at the computer to see.
See us.
we can figure out the why we won't have to do Skype anymore.
Right.
Where Trent's lagging behind voice wise,
even though we're right across from each other.
Yeah. So we're Skyping and vibing. But we'd rather not use Skype unless Skype wants to sponsor us. Then we will definitely use Skype.
Yes, we will.
For our call-in, guys.
On the Skype call-in.
Skype call-in line. Boom. Skype, if you hear that, let us know. But we are out of here. This is Dylan Duffy. That is Trent Steps. Duffy out.
Boom.